Rovers head into this weekend's action up against Hull City, that's right, who could be about to appoint a brand new manager. Now, will that manager be in place to take some charge of this game at the MKM Stadium? We'll take a look at it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match preview. Looking forward to Hull City up against Blackburn Rovers, that's right. But who will be in the dugout for Hull City? We'll take a look at that and much more in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Football League, Blackburn Rovers, everything Blackburn Rovers. We've got it all here under one roof scheme. It is a bit of a conundrum here. Rovers coming into this on a good bit of form. 3 wins on the spin, but they are, of course, up against the Hull City side, who could have a new manager bounce, goodness gracious me, and that new manager bounce could come into effect fully this coming weekend. We'll take a look at it, all of it in a second. Of course, if you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop, of course, for Rovers and everything just like that. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons, you know who you are. But anyway, let's talk about the game then, shall we? Of course, coming at you this coming Saturday, and it is Hull City and it is Blackburn Rovers. Now let's take a look at them under the microscope. They have played each other 19 times since 2008, just 6 wins for Hull, 9 wins for Blackburn. It's been 4 draws between the two sides. And of course, the form book right now is pretty salty for Hull City. 5 defeats on the spin. They're 22nd on the table, 50 points for the campaign. Up against Rovers, they are 8th. 28 points for the campaign, 3 wins on the spin for them. Of course, they do have a 3-0 win on their record against Hull City, scoring 20 goals in those 19 games, 1.05 goals a game on average. Hull, of course, with a 2-0 win of the record, 15 goals scored against us and 0.79 goals a game. Hull have not won in the last 10 matches, it says down there. Meanwhile, let's take a look at those last 6 then in all venues, both at Hull and at Ewood. 3-2 win last time around for Hull with the likes of Liam Delap and Aaron Connolly on the score sheet. Smonish also chipping in with one of his goals. Connolly, in fact, liked to score against Blackburn Rovers. I think he continues to like to score against Blackburn Rovers. He scored 3 in the last 2. Meanwhile, yeah, so it's been actually back-to-back. They did the double of us last season. It's actually been just 1 win in the last 5 for Rovers, 2 in the last 6. But it's not been a great game for Rovers of late. If you take a look though at the last 6 in Hull City, it's actually a little bit better for Rovers, winning 3 of the last 6. But 2 wins of the last 3 for Hull. In this one, Smodic scoring in back-to-back games against Hull at this venue. So yeah, our decent run against them is a long time ago now. So let's hope to turn it around. If you want to look at it over the last 10 though, it looks like this. Rovers boasting just 1 win in the last 5 against them, so not great. If you go back a little bit further than that, then it does look more blue and white. And if you want to open it up even further, have a look at it over the last 43 matches, 24 wins for Rovers, 10 wins for Hull, 9 draws, and of course we're outscoring them 2-1 in their goal records. But that's of course the history books. What about the current state of affairs? Well, this is the current state of affairs in regards to the values of the clubs. 76 million euros for Hull, averaging £2.39 million per player, compared to Rovers 50 million for the club there, £1.93 million. We have an older squad than them. They have more national players, more youth national ball players, and more foreigners than we do as well. Let's take a look then at, usually we go look at the managers, but of course we don't know who's going to be in the dugout. We really don't. But these are the players for Hull, and goodness gracious me, they've got 5 goalkeepers on the books right now. Pandor has been the number 1. Not sure what Carl Rushworth has done to not get in the squad. Is he injured? I don't know, but I know Pandor has been between the sticks as of late. Then you look at the goalkeeping ranks there, of course, much different from the last year. But they've got some really exciting players. Sean McLaughlin was linked with Rovers. Charlie Hughes, a good youngster there. He's in there twice. That's how good he is. Cody Drammer as well. Ryan Giles, a familiar face to us all as well. Moving into the midfield ranks, we've got Adaklir Omir, the Turkish guy, one of the guys pulling the strings. Liam Miller is out, I believe. Casey Palmer's been playing regularly, another ex-Rover there, and some other familiar names. And of course, up top we got like some Mason Burstow, João Pedro Galvo, Will Jarvis, amongst others. What about the lineup then? This is my lineup I'm going to go with for Hull City. We've got Panda between sticks, Drama on the left-hand side, McLaughlin, Jones, and then Coyle, Kamara, Slater, Simmons, and of course the Turkish man in there, Casey Palmer and Burstow to lead the line. That's of course my sort of uneducated take on a Hull City side, but Let's take a look at the Rovers then squad. Now, this is again more aimed at the Hull City fans who are coming in here as casual viewers. Ainsley Pears has been number one all season. We did bring in Blasov Toff, who is an exciting backup who hasn't had a chance to get in there. And at the moment, I think we're quite happy with where we are because Pears has been performing out of his skin. Danny Bafdomheim have been the regular centre-backs due to the injuries of Scotty Wharton and Hayden Carter. And then Britton's been our regular right-back when fit. And Pickering's also been there. But he's got a bit of a challenge with Owen Beck coming into the mixer there. But the most recent couple of games sees Owen Beck move forward in more of a winger role. Cantwell's been pulling some strings. Baker's going to get a chance this time around because star man, captain man, Lewis Travis will be out. So opportunity knocks for Lewis Baker, who can score goals, has got a rocket of a foot, can take a set piece. And I've been screaming out for the lad to be playing, but not at the expense of Travis or Chancellor because they've just been so dynamic between them. Dolan looked lively last time around, and still we have not had a chance to really get the full exploits of Amadi Okoza Dewsbury amongst others. So good chance for them to be on the bench to cause some snafus later. Meanwhile, let's take a look at my expected lineup. It's not going to be too surprising. As you see, it's Pears, Pickering, Hyam, Bath, Britton, as you would expect, that picks itself. Tronstead also picks itself. But Baker coming in for Travis, it is the wise man's choice here. And this is an opportunity that he has to take. Owen Beck looked good in that forward role. Let him do his thing. Also can provide cover as those two can overlap each other and provide some more defensive stability. Of course, this is a completely different game to the likes of Middlesbrough and Leeds, where we might have more of the ball instead of less counter-attacking. So it might not work out for us, to be fair. Cantwell and then Dolan in that trio with Ohashi being a right nightmare up top. Here we go. The key players then for both Hull and Rovers. Abdullah Omir, the Turkish man, 25 years of age, provides that creative spark in midfield. Call him the Turkish Cantwell, maybe. Up against Tyrese Dolan, of course, rallied around about 5 million. Of course, a winger coming in from the right or the left-hand side, all over the pitch. He's a creative wizard. On his day, he did get us our first penalty in a long, long time in the last match against Leeds. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the real Tyrese Dolan shows up this tomorrow. It could be a chance for them to really kick into gear and really get into the swing of things and start to drive us forward. Because this is a good game for us. Actually, a good couple of games for Rovers to see if we can actually play some of the lesser big clubs at this point in the season and get some points, because that's where we usually trip up your Stokes, etc. Anyway, let's take a look at the key players then for both Hull and Rovers. On the left-hand side is Hull. Mohamed Boulimi has been the star man, 7.53. He's actually been the best player on the pitch according to both sets of teams here. Louis Doyle also doing pretty dang fantastic. Meanwhile, Ainsley Pears has been the star man for us. Taunt Cantwell also started grinding some gears there. Sondre Tronstead and Lewis Travis doing the business. And we've got 6 players above 7 for Rovers, just 5 above 7 for Hull City at the moment. Let's take a look then at the stats overall. 6.87 on average for Hull City, compared to 6.93 for Rovers, who currently ranked 7th in regards to the average score, compared to 13th for Hull at the moment. They've scored 17 goals in 18 matches. They've conceded 26, though, averaging 0.9 goals a game. Rovers have played 17 games less, scored 21 goals, conceded 17, and it's been 1.2 goals a game. We have got 1 penalty thus far. It has been converted. As for Hull, they've had 3, and they've converted 2 of those as well. Meanwhile, 56.4% possession for Hull compared to 46.9% for Rovers. Just the 1 clean sheet all season for Hull. Rovers picking up 7 under Ainsley Pears between the sticks. No red cards as well for Hull City. We've had 2. They've averaged 47.3 on the duels, as for Rovers 50.8 as well, coming at you heading into this one then. Let's take a look then at the key stats for both Hull and Rovers. When in possession for Hull, they prefer the left to the right, and then more often than not, they're in the defensive third than the attacking third. That can be said for Rovers. In fact, though, we prefer the right to the left, and again, we are more often than not found in the defence side of things than we are moving forward. As for shots, more often than not, Hull City preferred to shoot from the left than the right. And of course, 9% of their shots are within the 6-yard area and 37% are long-range cookies. Rovers prefer the left as well to the right. They have a more higher percentage than that of Hull in that 6-yard area and 29% long-range cookies. When, of course, they're receiving shots, they are also coming from the right-hand side, do Hull, and more often than not, 29% coming out outside of the box compared to Rovers' left-hand side, and 36% long-range cookies. Now, the goals are coming at you in all sorts of shapes and sizes. On the top graphic here for Hull, 10 of them through open play, 4 set pieces, 2 penalties, 1 own goal. The Rovers have also similar sort of stats: 13 through open play, 4 set pieces, 3 counter-attacks, and 1 penalty. Conceded, though, Hull City conceded goals: 15 through open play, 5 through set pieces, 5 counter-attacks, 4 set pieces, 2 penalties. And Rovers conceded 11 through open play, 4 set pieces, 2 penalties. So let's take a look at the recent run of form then between these two clubs. Of course, Hull City coming into this on the back of a right old barren run, losing to Middlesbrough most recently. They also lost to Sheffield Wednesday, Luton, West Bromwich Albion, and Oxford. That's 5 defeats on the spin, all competition, all venues. Rovers, though, 3 wins on the spin, back-to-back clean sheets. That's a good response from Rovers. And of course, picking up maximum points thus far. But this ain't easy, guys. This ain't easy. If you take a look at it under the microscope a little bit further, Hull's home form, they are actually winless in the last 5. Rovers back-to-back away wins for the first time in a long, long time. We take a look at what's coming up for both Rovers and Hull after this game. Hull will go to take on Watford again at this very venue. Then it's Coventry, Swansea, North End, and then Blackburn Rovers again before the end of the year. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday will be Rovers' next opponents at Hillsborough. Then it's hosting Luton Town, going to Millwall, hosting Sunderland on Boxing Day, and then again hosting Hull City. No disrespect, we'll be playing you, I don't know, is that 3 times within a year? It might even be more than that. Anyway, so that's, of course, what's coming at you very, very soon. What can we expect from this game, though, when we look at it a little bit closely? Hull's strengths, creating chances through individual skill, defending set pieces and protecting the lead. Their weaknesses, though, stopping opponents from creating chances, aerial duels, avoiding individual errors, finishing scoring chances, and defending counter-attacks. Their style of play is a lot of long shots, short passes, possession football. They like to play out wide, especially down the left-hand side. They're also quite non-aggressive. On the flip side, Rovers, their strengths are counter-attacks, long shot opportunities, aerial duels, protecting the lead. They steal the ball from the opposition as well. Our weaknesses are avoiding offside and defending against skillful players. Our style of play, though, through balls, consistent first 11. We do like to play in our own half, and also we can play quite aggressive. The forecast says Rovers will score from a fast break. Hull will score from a result on individual skill, but Rovers will dominate the air, but Hull will dominate possession. So it does smell like a draw here, guys, according to the specialists here at Who Scored. And the table looks like this. As you see it, Rovers can mathematically go as high as 5th, depending on what goes on elsewhere. Meanwhile, Hull City could get themselves out that drop zone, of course, could go as high as 16th, depending on what goes on elsewhere. The new manager bounce could be the key. Now, let's talk a bit about that, because we're not really talking about it at all. Ruben Selles would be a fucking phenomenal appointment for Reading. I just want it to happen on Sunday. Please, please, please don't make it happen any time before that, because I think that new manager bounce will come into full effect. I think Ruben Selles is a low-key manager that's going under the radar. Of course, was there at Southampton, was unfortunately not there to see them steer them back to the Premier League, but definitely a great pickup by Reading. And this will be a monumental signing for Hull City. Probably will be one of the manager appointments of the season. So get that right. You think you're in a good shape, and probably that game when you're taking on Rovers back here at Ewood Park, it will be much more favourable for you if that was to be the case. You might even do the double overs once again if you get that right. So I'm a little bit anxious about that appointment, and I don't really want it to happen now, because I think if you get it for this, you'll have some sort of influence, and we'll see a response from the Hull City players, and I think you'll probably win this game. So that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, let's take a look at the journeys, though, far for both clubs. Rovers, represented by the blue, been steady Eddie in around about 5th to 10th, and of course trying to get himself back into that top 6. Hull, of course, out of up and down season. Timmy Waltner, of course, made the decision recently to pull the trigger on that one, and now could get it right with a decent hire. Because you play your card. You got to play your card right. Of course, Preston played their card ridiculously early, get rid of Ryan Lowe. It might not work out with Heckenbottom still there. A lot of other clubs have pulled it. Coventry pulled the trigger as well. Well, what's going on around the grounds then? Take a look at it. All kicks off on Friday. Burnley against Borough. That'll be a cracking game as well, as Burnley are flying high. Middlesbrough can score goals and will give them a headache. Meanwhile, Sunderland against Stoke, also quite spicy. Leeds against Derby. Sheffield Wednesday against Preston. Those are the early kickoffs. Then it's Plymouth, Oxford, Portsmouth, Bristol City, Millwall, Coventry. We've got Luton Town against Swansea, QPR against Norwich, Cardiff against Watford. Those are the 3 o'clock games. And of course, Hull City against Rovers. We'll have the watch along. I'll be in the hot seat. We'll talk about it live. And then wrapping it up on Sunday, it'll be West Brom against Sheffield United, which will be very, very spicy. What about the current race for the top goal scorer? Looks like this. Saints is running away with it. 5 goals clear over Maja. Conway's up there with 8. Haji Wright, Perot, Lati, Lath. Bayo's up there. Cannon, Azaz. Three of the top 10 goal scorers are Borough players. As for the assists, Aziz is up there with McCree Doak as well. Creating a lot of goals, scoring a lot of chaos, but can they get over the line, of course? And then goes on to my prediction. Like I said, it's a tale of two sides here. It's kind of like the blue pill and the red pill, or the blue pill and the white pill. Which one's going to happen here? Will it be a Ruben Selles Reading, a Reading infused by Ruben Selles appointment, or will it be still question marks and stuff? I don't know. We might even find out more before this video even goes out there. But get that guy in, and I think they could see a reboot, and Rovers will be on the have egg on their face. But there's also the problems that he might do a fond farewell for Reading this coming weekend as well. So I don't know. I think maybe. I think we're going to get over the line. I do think Rovers will get over the line and get at least something out of this match. I think a draw is probably favourable at this moment in time, with that question mark over Ruben Selles. But there's also the question mark: Will Hull get it right? Will they get it right in time? I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Rovers, purely on the basis that it might drag out. And he might not have an effect until he gets a full game. Because I think the longer this goes, if we go into Friday, I don't think he's going to have too much say in what goes on. So I think if we can get through Thursday without him being hired, then who knows? And probably the current caretaker will be doing the business anyway. Anyway, that's my take here, guys. Make sure you get your involvement in the comments down below. Let's see what you think. But until then, subscribe, smash the like. We'll have the watch along. We'll have the debrief. We'll have the follow through and all that kind of stuff. I think we're actually recording a podcast this weekend to talk about all things Rovers, where we have been, what the state of flux has been of the last few games. And of course, we're probably going to rank some strikers of the past. That's what's on the agenda. But until then, subscribe. Catch you later. But we're donezo for now.